But Typhoon Ragasa, the world's most powerful tropical cyclone this year, made landfall in southern China on Wednesday after killing 15 people in Taiwan and lashing Hong Kong with ferocious winds and heavy rains. While in Taiwan's eastern Hualien County, 17 people remain missing after a barrier lake overflowed and sent a wall of water into a town. Ragasa's outer rim has drenched the island since Monday. Many residents in the tourist town of Guangfu complained there was insufficient warning from authorities, usually used to moving people out of potential danger zones swiftly as the island is frequently hit by typhoons. As rains inundated Taiwan, Hong Kong grappled with huge waves that crashed over areas of the Asian financial hub's eastern and southern shoreline. The water rushed along pavements and submerged some roads and residential properties. Scientists warn that storms are becoming more powerful as the world warms due to the effects of human-driven climatic change.
I'm actually a Lama resident, and I'm just having a look around the neighbourhood to see the extent of the damage. It's not so bad as 2018 Mangkok storm, but it certainly appears to be initially quite bad here on the main roads and certainly the trunk roads.
Have you been able to cycle around?
Not yet. This is the first ride I've tried, and it's completely blocked through, as you can see over there.
Yeah. I mean, see the damage it's done everywhere.
I mean, how many times a year do we get waves as big and beautiful as this? It's an opportunity, really.
What?
Hong Kong 28 years, but I think I've seen stronger. I think Mangkok was stronger, but then the winds have come from a different direction, I believe. So,
yeah.
But this is bad enough. It's already too bad.
Well, joining me to look at this extreme weather condition being experienced in Asia and the issue of climate change is the President, Association of Environmental Protection and Climate Change Practitioners, Air Vice Marshal Akubo Iyamu, retired, with me in the studio. He is also a consultant on climate change and environmental policy analyst. Glad to have you join me to discuss this issue.
Thank you for having me.
Let me start with two questions. What do we need to know about these extreme weather conditions? That's one. And scientists warning that storms are becoming more powerful as the world warms due to the effects of human-driven climatic change.
Yes, thank you for having me. You know, there are things I want to state here. No matter how you batter the UN, the UN still remains a very formidable force. If we don't have it, we would have been in a very disastrous situation. Let's be one. The world is not going to be remembered for how we manage the quotas. The world is going to be remembered, the people criticizing the UN, they're going to be remembered for how they steward the future. And that's where we are now. That's where we are. You see, Typhoon Ragasa, that battered Taiwan, Hong Kong, and everywhere, were moving at 168 kilometers per hour. They 104 miles per hour. Now, the warning, they've warned these people that, look, there's a natural dam that is supposed to take the lake that is very close to it. Now, they warn that, look, in October, you're going to have water in this dam that is going to be unmanaged. But they didn't take into account the heavy amount of rainfall that is falling. I school in the Philippines. I know what a typhoon is. And in Taiwan and southern Philippines and all, they are more aggravated now because of the mountain. Got the mountain there. Now, we used to have monsoon rain. We are moved from monsoon, we moved to supercharged. From supercharged now, we're now having cloud burst. You saw today in Nigeria.
I was going to come to the question of the cloud burst, now that you have mentioned it while you're still discussing.
Yes.
What about the cloud burst that trigger floods? I mean, I gather it triggers floods, mudslides in Southeast Asia that you were discussing. Any chance of such extending to Africa, especially Nigeria? What should we be proactively doing now?
The question is any chance of it. It's already here.
in Nigeria?
Yes, in the western part of Africa, you're already having a low pressure wing between the western part of Africa and Cape Verde. That's already very, very instrumental. Since almost 3 or 4 months, I've been warning governors of states in the north that you have to act. Did you see the rain today? Have you seen it, the pattern since Sunday? That is cloud burst. There's nothing else you're going to say. What is cloud burst?
Yeah.
You are going to be having rain that is 5 to 10 centimeters in 1 hour. In 1 hour. So how is it caused? You have this amount of water rising. As it is rising, the droplet is cooled and brought back again. You don't yet thunderstorm again. And it is being influenced by mountain. All the way from Abuja to Benin-Kebbi. They are all in trouble. This is the time they need to use that ecological fund. Ecological fund was not a sludge fund. Yeah. It was a directed fund, and now is the time to use it. Now, when President Shehu Shagari of blessed memory started it in 1981, it was 1%. Then President Ibrahim Babangida moved it to 2%, and President Obasanjo moved it to added 1% to be sourced from the first line child. That's 3%. So far, between 2017 and 2022, about 700 billion has been collected. And then what are you going to use it for? Between 2023 and 2024, 39.6 billion were collected. That's enough for you to do. See, what is more consequential with cloud burst is the down bursts. You saw it in Ragasa, and that was what I was telling you. The whole thing was aggravated because of the dam. The dam poured 68 million tons of water added to this Ragasa flood. And in our own case, we are not very good in maintaining dams. It's not in our culture. It's not in our character. So all the dams now are being threatened. You see how the rain fell today. As I was just coming, I was so happy. I said, this is a signal that they should know.
So like we're discussing, so you talked about the ecological fund.
Yes.
And I did ask the question proactively. What should, because this is about finding being proactive, not even finding solutions.
Yes.
So what should they really be doing? You talked about the governors.
Yes.
So what should they be proactively doing,
You see,
now, so that this doesn't get us on our ways, or even if it comes, the damage is not so heavy? Because, it costs so much damage.
There's no way the damage will not be heavy, because we have not been mitigating it and adapting to it over the years. It's like the ecological fund since 1981 is like a mortgage. You must pay the mortgage now after 45 years. You are going to pay it. And if we don't, I saw a state in the north, they said they were dredging a river in the rainy season. That's very comical.
It's like buying an umbrella when the rains come.
What they were doing is like standing inside a bucket and trying to lift yourself. Can you do it? The time to dredge is during the dry season. And now what you will be doing is, where are the flooding so intense? You collect data now. You see, it's not what you just call one man, let's go and dredge. No, you need expert advice now. Because the cloud burst is getting worse. From supercharged rain now to cloud burst.
So what would be that expert advice they should listen to?
The expert advice now is that, first of all, you have to have a state-sponsored shelter for the people.
Yeah.
You see, you cannot stop the cloud burst from coming, but you can stop people from being killed. Yeah. The 17 that have been killed in Ragasa and 20 million displaced. You see, when it comes, it is very aggressive. The displacement is so wide. So wide. The other day I was reading in Benin-Kebbi, the bridge to Togo and Republic of Benin have all been washed away. So it is very aggressive. That's the level of rain that we're having now. So as we are now, since the situation we are now, they all need an expert advice now. First of all, like I said, state-sponsored shelter is what you need now, not the kind of one. See, the plans, as long as there are students who are not going to school, there are children who are not going to hospital, and there are still about 8 million people in the IDP camps. That means there's no policy. The policy is not working. The policy is not working. It's not just about policy now. You must create a very robust policy now, very robust policy on climate change. You see, the World Economic Forum is also meeting now. Do you know that? Between 22nd and 26th. You see, they are not looking at climate change as an environmental issue again. It's now an economic issue.
Yep.
Apart from economy, it's bringing diseases. You do know that the highest cause of hypertension is climate change? Why? It washes life and livelihood. By the time it's removed, what do you come up with? You come up with depression, you come up with trauma, and you come up with
about how you're going to replace your things. How does climate change intensify what they have called moisture content in the atmosphere, which in turn alters weather patterns like we're seeing now that lead to more frequent and ferocious rainfalls and then this kind of storms? How does the climate change intensify what you call moisture content and what it does?
This is the situation. Just look at it. You know the sponge that they used to bath us when we were young? This sponge that suck water. That's like what the atmosphere is now. Now, the atmosphere, the seas have risen by about 2%. You know, you saw Lagos yesterday. Lagos yesterday was pummeled by rain. So it has risen by about 2%. What has happened is that the drier the atmosphere, the more water it can take, and it's getting drier now because 2024 was the hottest year in history, and this one is also moving toward that particular direction. So that sponge in the atmosphere is collecting so much water. Now you have to spend so much money to deal with this flooding. Number one solution is dam, because dam has agricultural potential, it has tourism, it has electricity, it has all. That is why you see China has built the largest dam in the world. They spent 165 billion.
Are we building any fresh or new dams?
That is the question. You see,
and even maintaining the ones we
the
have.
sub-national government now, particularly states in the north, have to put their head together. If they have to fund that Hausa dam, they have to fund it. They need to other river Benue so that they can mitigate the water as it's coming.
That's the word, mitigate.
Mitigate
because you can't stop it. Really.
You are not going to stop it now. Don't forget, there's no way you are going to stop Lago Dam now with this amount of rain that is falling. They're going to spill water. They're going to spill water because what happened in Ragasa is that there was no way they could have controlled the intake structure or the spillover point. The water, they have to spill the water. So the same way, Cameroon will have to spill the water.
You talked about building dams.
Yeah.
That's probably a long run. In the short run, what should the government be doing now to proactively again? Because I mean, like I will always say, we're talking solutions.
Let me correct.
The now.
Dam is not.
It's not a long run.
It's not a long run now.
Okay.
So if we are really the vote of thanks you should give to people now, you should give to Nigerians, is how can you save their lives? They're already passing through a lot.
Yeah.
They're already passing through a lot. You see, the danger in this is that a country that have a food import bill of 10 billion cannot afford to add a natural disaster. Because when you create natural disaster, what do you create? You are creating criminal, you are creating insurgency, you are creating everything, and you are creating modern slavery. Because statistics have it that almost 1.6 million people they migrate every year. They are displaced.
And then they're taking for like you said, slavery. They
are taking for modern slavery. So the intensity now is that let us prepare for displacement. Like I said, state-sponsored shelter is number one. Two,
dam.
Dam. You look that Dancing Hausa dam. It's not the one we are saying we have PPP. No.
Do we have a third one? State-sponsored shelter.
Yes.
Damming the place, and do we have a third one? Yeah.
And you see, you have to manage the displacement. Enlightenment, educational enlightenment on climate change, because climate change is bad, but the human activity is what is aggravating it now. You understand? And they have to, like I said, you need expert advice now. It's not what you deal with yourself.
Yeah.
You see people that are talking for Ragasa, they are all expert. It's an expert situation.
It has to be. There are no two ways about it.
Yes.
Someone who doesn't know.
Yes.
Can you speak? I was going to ask you, speak to the broader impacts of climate change But there's this talk, the idea of Nigeria being an epicenter of low pressure winds. The talk is that it's actually a misinterpretation of the prevailing wind patterns, which are characterized by these two seasonal forces. Why this misrepresentation concerning low pressure winds?
You see, low pressure wind are the dangerous wind. That is, they are triggers. They are trigger. You see, Nigeria is now in the category of India, China, United States, and all of them in terms of bad weather.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yes, bad weather. Because, you see, our natural blessings of mountain is now becoming a problem. A problem because the trigger of cloudburst are the mountains. You saw Taiwan, where the thing was much more devastating, was the mountainous area. Because the trigger for cloudburst are the mountains. That is why you have it. See, now the coastal areas of Nigeria are almost enjoying. I mean, relatively. But now you have more water inside the atmosphere. You have more water in the equator. And that is what is primarily the Sahel now. The 7 states of the Sahel have to roll their sleeves. The 7 states of the Sahel have to roll their sleeves. And the states in the northern region have to do that real quick. Real quick. You see, climate change is disaggregating all the climate actions. And it is not just about disaggregating them. When you disaggregate, you have to give timeline to them. And
just on the side, what do you make of Trump's claim about climate change that is a hoax?
You know, for him, you see, one person cannot be against, he cannot be against the entire world. You understand what I'm saying? So we have moved past whatever he's saying. It's a whisper. It's a whisper. So the whisper is not resonating with anybody
because this is
anymore.
real. It's here.
But you see, here is where it gets interesting. We have everybody in Africa now, where Nigeria inclusive. There's a global gateway, which is the EU. Then there is a Belt and Road Initiative, which is from China. So there's also American First. So everybody is carving whatever they do to deal with their own situation. The global gateway is dealing with Kenya and investing money there. That money is not going to education. It's going to raw material that is going to be passed there. So if you have a natural disaster, you're on your own.
You're on your own.
You're on your own, yes.
We're going to leave it here.
Yes.
I think what we can take from today is one, the shelter, very important. Because I've always asked the question, when these rains fall and floods came, you hear government say, move. And I've always asked the question, move to where? Where do people move to when you have not constructed or created a place where they can stay?
Yes.
And secondly, build dams. And thirdly, that of education,
trees.
I think you talked about.
Yes, climate education.
Yeah.
And trees are very important, like yesterday. And they should get experts to advise them now.
You don't have any choice on that. You must get experts to deal with that. Thank you so much, Environmental Protection and Climate Change Practitioners, at the president of association of that group, Air Vice Marshal Akube Iyamu. Thank you, and a consultant too on climate change. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.